Hello everybody, my name is Tiltrinth and today I'll be teaching you how to do touchscreen input for Windows Phone 7. So let's get started. Firstly, we're going to open up Microsoft Visual Studio 2010 and we're going to make a new project. And let's just say this as input stuff. That's a good enough name. Okay. And here we have our wonderful template. Great. So now we're going to do a few things. If we want to get input, we're going to need to use a touch collection, which is already included here. We don't need to do anything over here. We can just start writing. So we need to make an instance of touch collection, which is quite simple to do. Just do touch collection and then give it a name. I'm going to call it touch. That's a wonderful name, I'm pretty sure. And then we can actually initialize it by doing touch panel dot get state. There we go. And now we got a few things over here which we can use. We have the touch state.count, which is referring to all the points you have, because this is a multi-touch device, so you have more than one touch. Then you have the touch state state, which is because touch state is actually an array for each point, and when you actually access that array, you have at each element you have the state and you have an ID. The ID is of course for which finger you're using, which point you're actually detecting, and the state is to say whether the touch location has been pressed, moved, which also is used for when it's held down, or released. Now you can actually start doing something if you do some along the lines of for int I equals 0, I is less than touched.count. There we go. I plus plus. There we go. And now we can actually, for example, let's use state. State dot pressed. Let's do an if touched I dot state equals, and now we do touch location state dot pressed equals. Oh no, wait, sorry. There you go, dot pressed. I was about to do something quite silly, but there we go. Now, we also have touch state I dot. We have this dot position, which is just where the point is, which is useful if you have, let's say, a button in a specific area, and you only want the button to be pressed when you touch that specific area. We don't need this for now. Let's make a little variable. Let's make a bool. Just draw red, so we can actually just press the screen and have it turn red. Though actually I'm thinking of using moved. Pretty sure that's a little bit better. I'm going to do draw red. Okay, I called it draw red. Draw red equals false, and then draw red equals true. And now over here we do graphics. No, if draw red equals true, and then over here we're just going to clear the screen with red. Color dot red. There we go. This should work nicely. And now if you press the screen, we should see red. Ah, there we go. Wonderful. We can close this. Now, if you want to make the touch screen manager by yourself, that's great, and now you have all the information you need, so you can actually just leave the video. But I actually have made a little bit of a piece of code over here, which I've included in the description, and now I'll explain how to use it and what it does. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to delete our code here, except for the draw red part. We're going to delete this. And now, we're going to go into this folder, we're going to drag this over here, and we're going to drag this over here. Now, what I've made here is just a little library which puts a few buttons on the screen and lets you access it quite easily. It basically just ends up being like interfacing with buttons on a console, if you've ever done something like that. So here we have it. You got a few things over here, but as we can see, I've left this over here, which is a little bit of a smaller tutorial, so we can just copy from here. We're going to copy this onto here. We're going to copy this onto the start, around here. Here we go. We're going to copy this onto our load content. Be careful to do this, because if you don't, this will absolutely not work. And then we just go and this and input.update. Here we go, over here, and then we can do ahead, and we can do at input.draw. Make sure to put your input.draw at the very bottom of this, so it draws on top of everything else. Unless you want it to be covered up by other stuff, but I think in most cases you'll want it at the bottom. Now, if we actually compile this, we'll see that we have a few buttons, but they won't do anything. As of right now, they're doing absolutely nothing. But we can actually change this. Just go into here and do an if input dot input, and then input dot, in this case A, I think is the correct one. Oh, I forgot. I have actually the wrong version of this. Just delete this. Don't worry, I'll put the correct version on the description. Just gonna save that. And now we do input.a dot held down equals true. We do a draw red equals true. And if you can hear that, but it started to rain. Anyways, there it goes. And as you can see, I actually got the names flipped accidentally. So let's also change that, just that. There we go. Now, if you want to change this is quite easy. This is just referring to this list over here, and this list is just the positions of each button, and each button gets its image based on its index. So the first one is the up arrow, the second one is the down arrow, and so on and so forth. I actually had the A and B buttons flipped, but now it should be correct. So anyways, we also got this over here, if I can find it, here. This is for any touch position, so you can just do touch held down. And it'll work as we had it before, where you can just press anywhere and it'll work. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and tune in next time where I'll explain how to do audio. See ya.